Okay, today I got these spindles. These are Kingpin spindles from Volkswagen. They want to have them rebuilt, so we need to press out all the old bushings, push in new Kingpin bushings, ream those out, put new Kingpins in it, get these all ready to go. So let's get to it. So first we got to get the old link pin bushings out, link pins and bushings. Okay, now we've got to get the link pin bushings out first. So we push the link pin bushings out, and then the kingpin bushing or kingpin and bushings are all underneath that. So we'll go ahead and start that. So now to help with that, I have an old kingpin that I turned down on the lathe to make it a little bit smaller so we can use it as a press tool. And the same thing with some of these bushings. I have an old link pin bushing that's turned down a little bit, so we can use this to push through there and get these bushings out. So we'll move over to the press and go from there. We're going to repeat that same process on the other link pin. Now for the kingpin, this one's usually a little bit more difficult, but like I said, I have a turned down old kingpin that we're going to use to put in here and press through to get this pressed out. So we'll bring this in, get it a little closer. Now that we've pressed the kingpin out, we have to press out these bushings to replace them. Those are the kingpin bushings that get worn out. Another vital thing is to make sure while we've got this all apart that these grease zerks take grease, because that grease in there might have dried up. So this is the time to make sure these things are working. Yep, both those are working. So now we're going to install new bushings right in here. You want to be careful not to drive them too far. We'll have to go back and address this little groove in a moment. Okay, so now we have to address this groove because there's a washer that goes in there that needs this groove. So I found the quickest way is just take a die grinder and a cutoff wheel and kind of come in here from the side. I just add that back in. Okay, so the next part, and the most challenging for a lot, is it requires a reamer because those bushings that we just pushed in are oversized and the pins won't press through there. So we need to run the reamer through there and get that all in a line and make sure those bushings are the right size for the new pin. So we'll go ahead and clamp this down so we can run this reamer through there. I always lube it up a little bit. Make sure I put a little lube on the reamer. And the best thing is slow and steady pressure. And you can see there what came out of the top. I always go ahead and lube it again before we go ahead and push it through the bottom bushing. And that's it. So now I'm going to blow this out, just use some compressed air, just to make sure we don't have any brass filings left in there. Then there's a washer, a thrust washer in here. That thrust washer goes on top of the kingpin. It's got a little hole in it here. Sets right on that. And then there's a little fiber washer and a dust cover that all go in here. And it all has to line up when we go to put this together. Did a little bit of this off camera, but basically you just stack those up, press that back in there. Now we've got to run our new kingpin in there, press it all together, put the new link pin bushings in. So we'll head over to the press. So now we need to press this in so it's past this passage for the link pin bushings, but we can't go so far that it gets down into the bottom one. So we got to be real careful as we push this in. And as I get close, a lot of times I like to just switch over to do it manually. Just about there. Okay, and the last step is we got to press in the new link pin bushings. Now, a critical thing when putting in the link pin bushing is to make sure that this grease hole is lined up so that the grease zerk can get into it. There's a pretty good pocket that grease zerk goes into, but if you turn it straight this way, you won't ever get any grease on these link pins. So make sure you get that turned down so that's aimed in at that grease zerk. And then we'll just put it in here. And there we go. A rebuilt set of kingpin, link pin spindles. Thanks for tuning in.